Okay, it's called the October 1st, 2020 Utility Advisory Commission meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there any public comment at this time? Well, hearing no public comment, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda, or are there additions or subtractions?
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Or second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Old business, is there any old business to come before the group? Okay. New business. Consider a recommendation to the City Council to award a contract for the Kill Creek Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility Digester Cleanout Project, number WW1808.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. As you can see by the project number, this is a 1918 project. We started looking at this looking at the clean out or the cleaning of the digester, and originally was under $50,000, and by policy anything more than $50,000 has to go through a formal bid. So it took almost a year and a half to get it here, but the Kill Creek Water Resource Recovery Facility has been in operation for almost 20 years. The facility has 2 aerobic digesters that allows organics and inorganics to grow and accumulate. Remaining solid compounds in the sludge are composed of inorganic compounds, and then that are processed through the bell press. Over the last 20 years, we have lost capacity because of one of the reasons, the use of flushable wipes, and then some other like hair that accumulate with the wipes and creates a problem. So we're to the point that we need to clean the digesters. So due to the amount, we thought it would be under 50, and we have some, when we start soliciting in 2018 for quotes, it was over 50,000. So we had to go through a formal bid process. So the invitation for bids was posted on August 12th to August 28th. 4 companies responded to the bid, and we had Sinagro Central. They bid $123,130 with 27 cents. Hodges Farm and Dredging $149,500. Customized Environmental Solutions $165,000, and Dry Clean with $223,348 with 28 cents. As you can see, there is a big difference between Sinagro and HydroClean. So we reviewed the proposals. We have dealt with Sinagro in the past for removing sludge from the plant, and they were the low bid. And they do, we look at the qualification, they're qualified to do the work. So our recommendation is to award a contract to Sinagro Central LLC for the Kill Creek Wastewater Recovery water resource recovery facility digester cleanout project. Number WW1808 in the amount not to exceed 123,930 with 27 cents. Scott Milholland, he's the superintendent. He's here if you have more technical questions that he'll be happy to answer.
Okay, are there questions?
I have a couple. So is 20 years pretty average?
Yeah. Usually 15 to 25 years, and we're kind of right on that 20-year mark.
Is there any benefit in doing this more routinely?
It really depends on. It really wasn't a problem until we started getting all the flushable wipes. Once the flushable wipes come out, the problem is they congeal with the hair, and the hair and the wipes together, they make like a long strand. And as they go through the process, they get hung up on the sides of the diffusers, and that's where the problem comes in. It's not so much as the grit, because we got grit removal that takes out 99% of it. It's just as they accumulate, the diffusers push air nonstop, so they push everything to the sides. And where we really get the accumulation is in the corners and on the sides. And that's where we actually got down there last year and actually started looking to actually see how many solids we got. It's not so bad in the middle, but it's on the sides, it's pretty thick. So what it does is we're losing a lot of capacity in our digesters. So, but yeah, to answer your question, we're right in line with where we're supposed to be.
Okay. Okay, that was all I had.
And like I said, it was originally it was a 2018 project, so we were trying to do it before 2020.
Okay.
Good. No more questions? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve this project?
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner.
Wells, yeah.
Yes,
I'll second.
Jake. Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Discussion items.
Yeah, we have the the electric outage report. We had 23 outages affecting 341 customers, 9 caused by equipment failure, 4 by animals, 7 by storm, 2 caused by damage by others, and 8 caused by other reasons. The average workday response time was 8 minutes, with an average workday length of outage was 30 minutes. The after hours was 43 minutes, and the after hours length of outage was 1 hour and 7 minutes. The overall response time was 36 minutes, and the overall average length of outage 59 minutes. We had an outage, which is it was 2 weeks ago. Where is it? Well, there was an outage on the east side of town where you have Walmart, Perkins, and it lasted like 30 minutes. And what happened, we have a differential on T2 transformer. So you have the relay looks at the current going in and going out. If the difference is greater than a preset limit, it will actually take the whole substation out of service. We had the last time we had this issue was 4 years ago. When I got here in 2015, we used to have a lot of problems with T2. During the substation 1 upgrades, we did a lot of work, replaced a lot of cables. So when we had this outage, everybody said, here it goes again. So we tested the transformer, T2, and they couldn't find anything wrong with the transformer. While doing the test, they found a small bird that it was pretty much burned. And what happened, the birds, actually it's over 100 blackbirds. They like to sit on the bus bar that feeds the feeder. And the space between the insulators is pretty small, maybe 3-4 inches. So apparently the bird got too close and caused a face to ground fault. So when they told me they found a bird, we look at the video and you can see the flash. So that's the root cause of that outage. And perhaps in the previous years were the birds causing part of the problem. So I'll try to bring that video because it's very interesting to see that such a small bird can cause an outage.
Is there anything, Gons, in that situation that you can do to kind of minimize the impact of that?
Yeah, for example, they sell devices to discourage squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking with Bruce, and they do the same thing for birds. So we're planning to put something to prevent birds from shorting the face-to-face, having a face-to-face short or fault. Any question on the electric outages? Okay, can we go to the wastewater collection repair reports? We had 6 incidents affecting 5 customers, 5 due to resident issues and 1 due to damage by others. The average workday response was 3 hours and 10 minutes, and the average workday repair time was 4 hours and 12 minutes. The average after hours response time was 44 minutes, with the average after hour repair time was 1 hour and 14 minutes. Overall, the response time was 2 hours 46 minutes, and the repair time 3 hours and 42 minutes. Any questions on the wastewater report? Okay, and we have the water. We have, for the third quarter, 47 water distribution service repairs affecting 62 customers. 9 due to line failures, 2 due to valve failure, 3 due to damages by others, 30 due to resident issues, and 3 due to other issues. The average workday response time was 4 hours 9 minutes, with a repair time of 7 hours and 59 minutes. The after hours response time was 24 minutes, with the average after hours repair time of 56. Overall, response time was 3 hours 7 minutes, and the repair time is 6 hours and 2 minutes.
You're saying the response time during the day was 4 hours?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's go back. Yes.
Want me to go back?
Seems like if it's 24 minutes after hours, 4 hours is a long time during.
Well, let me look at the actual numbers here. Response time. On the report, anything shadow or on gray, those are your after hours.
It may be, I'm thinking it may be because if, like, the work order gets put in at a certain time and then they respond, like if they're in the middle of something and they respond later. See, I just don't know how that works, but.
And that's typically what'll happen on that. A lot of times if they're working on another job and they get called out, those guys will go ahead and respond, and they hurry up and take care of the problem. And after the problem's done, then they'll go ahead and submit the work order. So they hurry up and get the customers back on. So a lot of times that is delayed by 3 or 4 hours. They could be there in 15 or 20 minutes, but by the time they get the leak fixed or a piece of pipe repaired, by the time they actually complete the work order, because everybody's in their hands on, it's after that. So the numbers are a little misconstrued. Where the guy, after hours, when he clocks in, as soon as he clocks in, he's right there because he's the only guy there.
It just seemed out of the norm. They're not
Sure,
usually
yeah,
4
yeah,
hours.
You're right, it is, it absolutely is.
I thought maybe they were all in Olathe at a
Yeah.
meeting or something.
Yeah, and I think 99% of the time that's what it is, because they try to go ahead and fix the problem, and then after it's done, they try to hurry up and catch up with paperwork, and sometimes the numbers are misconstrued, so.
Okay,
And sometimes it's me that's putting in the work order, and then I gotta find somebody, and then it takes them time to finish what they're doing and get over there, so I kinda think that's part of it.
I'll give you a good example on, I think it's the first one. Yeah, the first item, it took 16, the response time was 16 hours. But it was reported, it was a low pressure. So it was reported on 7:15 at 3:15. A low pressure is not a emergency. So they started the work on the next day, 7:16 at 7 a.m.
that sounds reasonable.
And there's
To me.
another one, and there's another one similar. One second, almost second to last, is a very similar situation. So the customer called and water pulsating inside the home. So that's not really an emergency, so they took care of it the next day. Now those are during the day. That's why the number is high. Any other questions? Project updates. I'm working on the commission recommendation to look at LEDs, smart thermostats, and smart irrigation controllers. There's a lot of information, especially on the LEDs, so I require additional time. Maybe next meeting I would be able to present that. But there's a variety of programs, and there's too much information. So I'm working on that. Regarding the Hillsdale, as reported last meeting, most of the civil structures are constructed. Some of the equipment started arriving, so they will be installing equipment within the next 3 to 4 months. The startup is scheduled for March 2021, and final completion will be late April, early May, before the summer. And I'll try to make another presentation before the end of the year so you can see the difference or the advance made since the last presentation. And also I got we did a solar feasibility study. I got the results, and I will present that next meeting. So you will see the difference between solar energy and conventional energy. The price difference is significant.
Okay,
So that's all I have for this meeting.
how's the smart meter project going?
We started on Labor Day. As of last week, we had 1,700 electric meters in place.
1,700?
1,700.
That's a good start.
So they were estimating about 150 a day. They were trying to get a second crew, so in order to reach that goal.
No major problems so far?
We have one incident with one customer, but it apparently was resolved.
Guns, is that flash cut? So basically you install all of them and then cut over to it, or can you, as those 1,700 are installed, can you immediately start?
So the contractor is Next Grid. So the information from the meters is available. It goes from the meters to the gateway into their server. Then that information has to be transferred to the customer for billing. So all the way up to late last month, we were the billing is the vendor is Central Square. So they were able to do an interface, so when the information is ready from the smart meters, it will be transferred for the billing.
Okay,
So that's being done on a daily basis. So right now we have 1,700 meters that they're smart.
okay, great.
So there's a transition. Ideally, the two software should be able to talk to each other through the cloud, but with the Central Square doesn't have that technology. So it has to be done manually.
Okay.
But as of last week, we have 17 smart meters. And next week, we'll have training on how to use the software and the different screens. And late October, they'll start with the water meters. So our goal is to have everything in before spring of next year. Any other questions?
Any other business to come before the commission? Okay, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We're adjourned.
Thank you.